Thank you for accepting this job assignment with Quality Service Group, or QSG. The nature of our business is to inspect parts for other companies. Our mission is to provide the most professional sorting and inspection management services possible by meeting or exceeding the quality standards set by our customers. We will not compromise on our goal to bring 100% customer satisfaction on all services and provide total support to prevent defective products from reaching our customers. Your accuracy on this job is very important. What this means for you is that letting a bad part go by causes all of us to have to re-inspect every part again for free. Staying focused on the job and following work instructions allows us all to inspect 100% error-free. Here are some things we expect of all of our workers. Dress for work. Casual clothing, plain clothing without any wording or advertisements on them. Closed-toed shoes, leather preferred. Some safety equipment, like safety glasses, may be required to wear. If you do not wear the appropriate safety equipment, you will be sent home. QSG may also provide a loaner company vest, company shirts, and/or a name badge to wear to be identified while in the plant. The orientation sheet that you will read will go over and explain other guidelines. Phone calls. The use of company phones for incoming and outgoing calls of personal nature must be limited to emergencies. QSG will try its best to call employees to the telephone for legitimate emergencies. Otherwise, the message will be taken and given to the supervisor to give to the employee. Personal calls should be made only during break or meal periods using the payphones. Please familiarize yourself with the conduct policy and unacceptable practices sheet included with your orientation packet. Arriving at the workplace. After arriving at your work location, you will tell the receptionist or guard that you are from QSG and you are here to work on the inspection sort. QSG will give you the name of the contact person of who to ask for once arriving. Do not say that you are from a temp agency, as this will only cause confusion for the person at the guard shack or the receptionist. They will be expecting someone from QSG, not a temp. Now here is how we do the work. Our workstation is set up to unpack parts to be inspected and then repacked and labeled with good parts only in the box. Your QSG coordinator will instruct you on the most efficient way of doing the sort. Do not change the way he or she has told you to do the job because we have already been given the required instructions. Always ask questions if you come upon a unique situation on a part or set it aside. Don't pack it until you can get further instructions. As you go through the boxes, you or the QSG coordinator must log in the amounts of good and bad parts on our data collection form. You will be informed if you are required to keep up with this information, so be ready. Here is a look at the data collection form in the event that you are assigned this task. Each line and column is for logging in the parts you inspect. There are blocks for part numbers, type of defect found, reworked, and then amount of good parts left after the case box is complete. Sometimes we have to hand write in a specific defect that we are looking for on the data collection form. Neat and clean handwriting is a must. Poor handwriting will cause us not to be able to read the numbers. This causes problems for us when we have to log them into our database, so please print neatly. Here's an example of how this form is filled out.
Our data collection will be divided into 3 sections for this exercise. First, we will start with the top left-hand corner of the data collection sheet. There is a place for your name and your signature. Remember, signing this document verifies that all information therein is as complete and accurate as possible. QSG's fax number is also located in this area. You are required, after completion of sorting each night, either to fax this information to the QSG office or drop it off the same night in our mailbox outside the office. This data is extremely important and we will need your information as soon as possible. At the top center of the sheet contains your customer. This is the client who we are billing or the client who manufactures the product you are sorting. The cell below is the location where you are performing the sort. Sometimes the location and the customer are the same. You also have a line describing your plant contact or who you will be reporting to. The last 2 cells are for the applicable part number or numbers and a short defect description of what you have been called in to sort for. If there are any more than 2 or 3 part numbers, write various part numbers in the blank and fill in the numbers in the data analysis portion of the document below. Moving to the next block of cells is the job number heading. This is required for every job. If QSG management does not give you a job number, fill in the blank with an NA or not applicable. Management will make the proper adjustments later. This also applies to the reference number as well. There are places for you to document the sorting date, start and end times, and shift. If the sort is between shifts, please circle both shifts. The next section involves downtime. Any downtime 15 minutes or over should be documented. We stress for you to document all applicable downtime in this section, even if you are unsure of the exact time of waiting. Sometimes we have to wait for material handling to bring us parts, criteria changes, or setup changes. QSG management will need plenty of information when discussing sorting charges with the supplier. This documented downtime will become very helpful in this justification. Over to your left you will see the work instructions and criteria cells. These lines are provided so you can fill in a detailed task summary of your sorting requirements. Most descriptions are given by the supplier or personnel at the facility you are working with. Sometimes you will have to provide your own detailed summary. If you have any questions concerning this section, the office will assist you. The next block of cells is also very important. This section needs to include all materials such as gauges, rework tools, colored witness marks made, and any other material relevant to the job. We will also need to know who authorized these materials to be used. The direct sorting time is the only line you will need to fill out in the breakdown of charges section. The rest will be determined by QSG management. The lower section is definitely the most important of the data collection. Mistakes can be made very easily if numbers are not written down or added up correctly. This large section contains all data analysis information. Here, the QSG coordinator can document his or her initials and others' initials, applicable manufacturing dates, relevant serial and lot numbers, total inspected, non-conforming or bad pieces, any and all pieces that have been reworked, and total good parts, which would be total inspected minus non-conforming. The next few rows of cells deal with defect findings information. All defects should be labeled accordingly. N for non-conforming, R for rework, or O for any observations made that may be a defect. The auditing section should be filled out when there are at least 2 sorters on the job. The coordinator is required to audit at least 1 box of each sorter's material to verify that the sorter is performing his or her job properly. All pieces should be totaled up at the bottom. If the job is complete, then the project final totals can be added in as well.
Over on the back of the same form is where your team coordinator will help you clock in to record your time. This allows us to document your hours worked, which translates into your paycheck being correct. No matter how many different jobs you work on, or if you go to another job site, all of your time will be added up and you will get 1 check for the week worked. Here's an overview of how this is done.
The back page of the data collection form consists of all employees' direct sorting time. The top section consists of repetitive information from the front of the data collection. Our week ending date is always on Saturday. Each employee box has start time, clock in and clock out times, only to be used if more than a 20-minute lunch is taken, and total hours worked. Each block has room for the employee's name, date, and day of the week worked. The lower right-hand section is for the coordinator who is training a first-time employee on a job. This must be filled out in its entirety by the QSG coordinator. A block is also provided for any needed comments about the training or sorting in general.
Always remember that you are a guest in the facility that we are working in, and we must adapt to meet the needs of each individual customer. You must act professional, look professional, and be error-free if we are going to get repeat orders. With your cooperation and following QSG already proven methods, we can all enjoy a paycheck for our work efforts.